Beep, beep. My hat!
Hello, welcome back. Alright, so today we've got this really cool crawler here, scale crawler. It's the Outlaw Rampage Pro, and this is by Kyosho. So Kyosho makes some pretty cool stuff, and this belongs to my friend Rod from Rod's Reels RCs. So you can follow him on Instagram at Rod's Reels RCs. But we're going to unbox this thing. We're actually going to put it together for him. So, thanks to my buddy out there for letting me build this for the channel. But here we go. So some of the features, it does have a solid rear axle, which is pretty cool. The front is independent suspension, but let's go ahead and check this out. Alright, so let's see. So we have our parts bags. I'm going to go through these shortly. We have our body. Oh, this is pretty cool. The back is actually cut out. The body's completely trimmed. So it's a fully trimmed body. You just have to clean and paint, and it appears to come with the stickers. Set that aside. Let's see what we have here. Whoa, that's pretty cool. Alright, so it looks like most of this is already built. Oh, good. So it does come with foams here to protect your hubs. Alright, so I'll just put those in the box. Cut out some filters out of those. Let's see. Alright. And, alright, so it comes with these little plastic covers to protect the threads just in case it hits something. And the body clips are actually holding the hub, so I'm assuming the pins are somewhere else, because usually you get some little pins that go in there. Oh, this is nice. This is an aluminum plate, so you get aluminum plates. That's pretty neat. That's a lot of travel on the rear suspension. I mean, it wouldn't travel all the way out, but still, that's a lot of travel. This is pretty neat. Alright. Let's see. Okay, so he had put some extra parts in here, so he's going to be running this. He wants that servo. Servo does not come with it, servo horn or the paint. Let's see, but it does come. Oh no, this is his system. So you're going to need a servo. He had already put the parts in here. He lied to me. But anyway, so we do have a set of tires. We have all these chrome pieces as well. Place this here. Just so we can dress it up later. He didn't tell me which one he wants, but I kind of like this one with the round lights. So we'll see. That's the one that looks similar to the picture. And we have the manual. Alright. That is it. So let's place that on the table. Alright. Well, that's it for the unboxing. So be careful not to upset your neighbors. Here, that's one of the items. Prohibited items. Alright. So where does this actually start? So this tells you how to drive. Alright, so always run your car with the body shell mounted. So these are instructions. I'm going to skip through these because we're really going through the build. But as you can see, the manual looks to be pretty good. You get the parts spurs here. In case you need replacement parts, it has all the item numbers. Where does the build actually start? Oh, it actually gives you a whole teardown. So even though it comes A lot of it comes pre-built. Out of the factory, it still gives you the exploded views. So this is pretty cool. I actually like this. So this was already built up to here. You just have to finish it up. And the manual still gives you the entire teardown for the vehicle, which I like. There's the teardown for the differential, transmission, motor install. All right, this looks good to me. Well, here are the shocks. Let's see, there's parts right here. So there's still a lot of parts. So let me just open the parts bag and then we're going to start the actual build. Put the tires aside for now. Now let's see, bags, bag of parts. Let's see, bag 3, bag 1, and you do get tools. Bag 2. Right. Some stuff that's already built. You know, I'm going to have to speak to my buddy. I'm wondering if you put some of this together. Because I am missing a few bags. Oh, no, I'm not. This is bag 5. Bag 4. Bag 7. I just have a mess of everything. Let's see. And there we go. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so everything looks good to me. I'll put the body over there. Even though body's bag 4, I'll ignore it for now. Same thing with the tires, bag 7. Bag 8, this is the antenna tube. Oh, it's the other plate. And looks like the rear body mounts. So we are, it's an optional body mount. So if you want a higher body mount, that's what you get here. You also get sway bars. I will not be installing the sway bars because he's going to be crawling. If he decides to race it, then we'll install the sway bars. Good. So let's see. Alright, we're going to get started with bag 1. So bag 1. Okay, this looks like it's for the slipper clutch. Alright, well, let's go to bag 1. Alright, it gives you steps, that's good. Does it give me bag numbers? Here we go, bag 1. So bag 1 is going to be on page 10. And here, we're going to have the following. Bag 1 is going to come with your bag of tools, which we won't need, so just put that back in the bag. Always use quality tools. Yes, you can use the manufacturer provided tools. Those are good for the build, but that's about it. They start wearing out too soon. So this is the parts tree that we have. This is one of them on bag 1. And this isn't bag 1, is it? Must be. Huh. This is bag 1. Let's see. Bag 2 will not come with the mounts. Arrangement of plastic parts on runner 2. Alright, this is gonna, okay, these match. Alright, so these match. That's about all that matches. Let's see. Bag 3. No, no, see, bag 3 has shocks. Alright, so that one does not match. This has nothing to do with the bags. This is a bag. All right, sounds good. All right, so with the Kyosho manual is going to have just a few little instructions, things that they have on here. Then other than the instructions, you're going to go right into the build. So if you go into the build, what you have to look for is the following. So it has everything in steps. So if you look at the top number, this is going to be steps. So this is step 3. So if you were building this entire thing from scratch, or you had to tear it down, you're going to be looking at the step number. So step 1, step 2, step 3, 4, and then you're going to go to this section right over here. Well, if you look at this section, you're going to notice some of these numbers, but these numbers are going to have also steps. So if you're building a particular vehicle, it's going to give you the steps. Sorry, a particular part of the vehicle. For example, the front end with the steering and suspension. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's how you assemble the front end. Now, the bags. What about the bags? You need to look for these numbers. So these numbers are numbers corresponding to the bags, not those and not the one on top. So this is bag 1. Bag 1 comes with your links. These are for your steering, your servo. Comes with the parts. This would be your servo saver right there, your servo horn, your spring for your servo saver, and you get some other hardware for your steering. So this here, this is bag 1. Now, that's what we're going to be working on. So we're working with page 16, bag 1. So page 16, bag 1. Here we go. Now, I hope he doesn't mind me folding the manual this way. But we're going to need the servo. And you do need servos with these kits. For this, he is going with just a plain Jane servo, which is a Savox servo. This is the number. Just the light. There we go. So the servo that we are using is an SC0252MG. This is what we are installing. Now the servo does come with hardware. May need it, may not. And this servo will be going in here, in this tray. I just have to cut the bags open. Scissors would actually be better. And I'm just going to cut all the bags. You're probably not going to need everything, but might as well. There we go. All right. So the first thing you have to do is you have to take these two pieces here. And these are going to be where your servo is going to mount to. And these are right off parts tree. And one of the things that you're going to notice is there is a hole in the bottom. This is going to mount on the chassis. And then there's a hole here on the side. That's what holds the servo together. So this is going to fit in like this. And that's what you're going to have for both sides. And that's the part that we will be installing first. So for this, let's see, we'll use the Savox parts to the side. And it's this little bag that contains the screws that you need with the 2 washers. So this kit only uses 2 screws and 2 washers to hold the servo in place. I usually use 4. Here you only use 2. And you're going to be using these screws right here. It's the ones with the rounded head. Do not use the countersunk screws. Those are used for something else. And one of the things that I do like about this kit is that so far, all of the screws are hexes. I'm not seeing any flathead screws or Phillips screws. I don't know why kits use those screws. Maybe they're less expensive to make, I have no idea, but I strongly dislike them. Something else to note is there's a little notch here at the bottom, so right there. This is going to go toward the outside, so when you mount, the notch is going to go to the outside. I like holding it with both fingers like this, and then I present the screw, and then you just start threading in. Now when you tighten, make sure you do not over tighten. These are plastic parts, you will damage them. Then you're going to have to get new parts. Sometimes you can put a little bit of CA glue, super glue, crazy glue, whatever glue you're using, inside of the hole and then thread over it, but it's not going to help much, to be honest. It'll work for a while. There we go. Now we do the other one. And follow the same orientation. So the notch is going to be on the outside. That's the way it appears on the picture. Right here. And since I'm not working with oil, I am wearing my ring, so you can tell my wife I am wearing my ring. She'll be happy. I usually do wear it. All right, there we go, I've lined up. So that's it. So now this is finished. Now we have to deal with the servo saver. So servo saver and horn, although you don't really need a servo saver for this servo, but if you're using just a common, just a small common servo, you may need one. Now, one thing to note here is these are numbered. So you have a 3, 4, 5. They are out of order. You're going to be using one of them for the build. And here we're going to be using the 5. So I'm just going to take the 5, take this. Now, some of these parts you will have to trim. Some of them you will not. So you have to decide. For example, the servo horn. I don't really have to remove that little piece of material there. It's not going to get in the way of anything. But if you want, you can just grab a little file and just file away. Or you can use a knife. Be careful, though, if you use a knife. But, you know, if you're a young individual, less experienced with a knife, use a file and just file it down. But there we go. File it down. This part here is actually going to go inside, so this one I do want to trim. So trim this part here of the servo saver. And again, a file is better. It saves your fingers if you do not have much experience with a knife. If you are a child, adult supervision, just have an adult do it for you. All right. So one of the things that you will notice is in here, this is concaved inside, and it has the same shape as this. So this just keys in. So if you were to place this, say 90 degrees off, it would not seat properly. You just turn and it'll seat. So that's it. And it's pretty flush, so it'll be flush. Now, we're using number 5 because that's the one that fits this servo. The other ones, actually, hold on. Oh, no, I want 3. It's actually 3 that I want. Did all that trimming for nothing. So check your servo. I thought it would be number 5, but it's not. It's 3. 3 is the one that fits. There's a different amount of teeth or grooves there. Those aren't teeth. I have those lines in there. All right, so I'm just going to push this out. There we go. So that goes off to the side. This is the one that goes inside. Perfect. All right, and we are set. All right, once we have that, this servo, this is the orientation. The horn is going to be pointing up. So we're going to install it, and you install this way. So you want it perpendicular as possible. So we're going to have to do some adjustments later on. Right now we're just doing the common build. So that's it. Just slides right on. Now you're going to have a variety of things. One, you're going to use this other bag that has the spring, longer screw, and a washer. That is going to hold the servo horn on the vehicle. Now, I actually did all of this work just for you. He wants an aluminum servo horn, but actually this is too long. I do not want to put the servo horn that my buddy wants. This appears to be too long. Sure, I'll go ahead and do it. But anyway, let me just finish this up. So what you would do is you would put the washer on the screw, just like this. And then you would put the spring right in there. That's what you would have. And then this would just slide in, and then you would just tighten this. And then do not over tighten. I would use a little bit of Loctite, but since I'm going to be removing this, I'm not. I'm going to go all the way, and then I'm just going to back it out about half a turn. There we go. And that's it. So that would be the stock setup. Now, my buddy actually wanted this aluminum horn. Let me just inspect it beforehand. Actually changes the mounting position. I'm going to go with the stock setup, and then I'll let him know. If he wants to change it up, I can change it up for him later. But that's what we have. No, because that's what he wants. Alright, let me just inspect something. This would sit there. Alright, we'll leave that alone. Let's work on this link. Alright, now for the link. The little bag with the link comes with 3 parts. It comes with a little screw. It's like a little worm screw. And it does have a part there so you can apply your tool, so you can drive it in. And then you get the 2 link ends. So those are the link ends. Now for this, you're going to be using a 1.5. Since this is going into plastic, you do not need thread lock material. And both of these links are the same, so it doesn't matter which one you drive in first. And I'll drive most of it through. Something else that you can do to help you out is you can use a piece of pliers or another tool. Actually, there we go. So there's actually a hole in the link. You just put a tool there, and then you can just hold it. This makes it easier. All right, perfect. There we go. Then you just start threading the other one nice and slow. And this should be about half, let's see, it says 0.5 millimeters. 0.5 millimeters, which is a small gap. I have a ruler over here. I'm going to measure shortly. And this one is going to face that way. This one's going to face down at an angle. Let's see. This, right. That's what it's going to look like. All right, let me measure. All right, we are good. Perfect. Now take this out. All right, and this. So these two countersunk screws, the ones I told you not to use, those are the ones that are going to hold the servo onto the chassis. And then this is what we are going to have. So right now, this is where I'm going to make that choice on which servo horn I'm going to be using for his build. I mean, I know it's not my truck, but I want this to be done right. That way it gives me more things to build for him. This is not looking good. Nope. This is not going to fit. Alright, so I'm going to use the stock setup. The reason why is steering would be way too close to here. I think it'll probably hit. So I'll be letting them know about that. So let me just go ahead and fix the servo real quick. Alright, and we are good. So now I have to install. See, I need a 2mm driver for this one. And this is going to go in here. And there we go. All right, so the ball is on, servo saver's on. Now this thing's going to go on. And let's see, based on here. So I'm going to use the same orientation. It's on the book, it makes it easier. It's like this. This goes here, and that kind of points down out at an angle. Perfect. So this just goes in. All right. And now you can just set this on and press this on there. And that's it. You can also use some pliers and just ply these on. It's up to you. All right, there we go. Now you're going to have to flip this over. You're going to have to find the holes and just kind of set it up. And that is it. So once you set it up, you're going to use those countersunk screws. Just place one in there. It's going to be your 2mm driver. I'm going to go ahead and just drive one in. But I'm not going to go the whole way. I'm just going to go partial. And the reason why I still want the servo to be able to move so I can install the second one. Once the second one's in, then I can go ahead and tighten both all the way. And I am going to leave the aluminum plates on. I'm not going to replace them with the plastic ones that appear to be included because these just look cool. All right. So now I can tighten this. And I'm going to tighten the other one. So the right one is the one that you want to tighten first. And so this is the right one. No, actually, that's the left. So, okay, it looks right on your camera, but if you flip the vehicle, it's the left side. All right, so it's the left side of the vehicle. That's the one you want to tighten first, and then this one, because this one, if the, it's a little longer hole in case you have a narrower servo, wider servo. So that's the one you want to tighten first, and then this one. But other than that, our servo is on. We're going to have to make some adjustments later on. Right now we're just doing the build. But that is it for the servo. So we're going to move on to the next step. Servo is on. And let's see, servo covers everything from page 16 and then 17 right over here, this part. And then after that, we get to install this plate. So this plate is going to cover the servo. And the servo wire appears to be coming out through there. Let's see the orientation here. Is that on the servo? Right, so these two go here. Right there. Actually, go to the front. All right. That is interesting. All right, so something to note is the following. If you look at the instructions, it has this mounted back here in the rear holes. But if you mount it in the rear holes, you're not going to be able to screw it here because you're going to have a major gap. And there is nothing in the instructions about a spacer, and there is no spacer included. So I'm going to be mounting it in the front to hold this. So even though the instruction says to mount on the rear, mount in the front. And there should be 3 remaining screws. 2 of them are regular, so the round heads, and one of them is a countersunk. The countersunk is going to go from the front to the rear. The round ones are going to be the ones holding the plate on. So this will go here. Now again, I don't tighten everything fully until the end. And I'm actually going to tighten this front one first. So this one's going to be tightened completely first as I press down here. I really do like this double wishbone suspension. It looks very neat. The other one. This is our last screw. There we go. So that is set. That is good. That moves freely. Right, here I'm just checking, making sure nothing hits, everything moves freely, and we are set, we are good to go. Alright. And this already has a sway bar installed in the front, so we're just going to leave it. Good, so that is it for this part. Alright, so now we're going to be looking for bag 2. And let's see, bag 2